Hi friends, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. Today I am very excited to share with you my Shorty September TBR. This is hosted by the fabulous Bert and Sean over at PaStory Time and Heather of Soggy Expat Book Nerd. Also made illustrations for the bingo board. I know, I'm excited. So let's hop right into it. Okay, I love short books. I like big books. I just like books. However, I have a lot of them. I was thinking at first I would have to go to the library, but no. There are about, I should say I own about 50 of these novellas, Art of the Novella series by Melville House. So I could always rely on any of these. Probably could have, well, maybe not all of them. Most of these prompts I probably could have checked off with these, but in the end I didn't end up using them. And I also have a very small collection of Penguin 60s classics, and then what are these, not black ones, they're, I don't know, but they're Penguin 60s for the occasion of Penguin's 60th anniversary. So I do have one of these that I pulled out, but just these alone, like, I could have covered most, but I didn't. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, the first one, Shorty Shorts, a book from the 70s and 80s. I was least sure about having something for this. However, I remembered that I have a whole bunch of Christopher Pikes, and these are from the 80s. This is Slumber Party. I read this back in, like, right around it was published. Let's just see here, 86, I want to say. Maybe I didn't read it in 86. 85. Probably read this in like 89 or 90, but I have a whole bunch of these, and I remember loving this one in particular. So yeah, can't wait to read this guy again because it's been a long time. Next up, Runway Fashion Shorts, a translated book. I'm going to pick Ties by Domenico Starnone. This was a present from my friend Joy for, I think, my birthday, probably 5 years ago, if not more. It's terrible. I'm so sorry, Joy, if you ever see this. But this is translated from the Italian by Jhumpa Lahiri. And I don't know what it's about exactly. Story of a marriage subject to strain, attrition, burden of routine. It's about a marriage falling apart. Either it's already fallen apart and they don't want to acknowledge it, or it is falling apart actively. So I doubt this will be cheery, but that's okay. It's thin and it's gonna get off my shelves. Okay, next up is Granddad Shorts, a book that you've had a long time. Really, I just wanted to read this book. I realized I haven't, and I don't know how that's possible because I've had this since it was first published. But it's the ultimate nap book, Change Your Life Without Getting Out of Bed by Sark. Talk about goals. I mean, I never want to get out of bed. So, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's like all of her books, multicolor, permission to nap, you know. So, excited to finally actually read this one. It's time. Okay, Bermuda Shorts, a book set in another country. And this is one of the Penguin 60s. So here we have Gigi by Colette, set in France. I don't know what it's about. It's small and it's 58 pages, but look at this dinky print. It's like one of those, you know, Victorian or earlier books where they made everything pocket size, so the print was always like minuscule. So I'll probably need my glasses for this one, but that's okay. This should be good. I like Colette. All right, next up, Half and Half Shorts. Read a book, then watch the movie adaptation or one of the other if you've already read something. And I had other stuff that could have fit in for this prompt, but really I just wanted to read this book finally and get it off of my list. Not in a bad way, but I just wanted it to be done, you know? This is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist by Rachel Cohen, Cohn, C-O-H-N, and David Levithan. I saw the movie years ago. I thought it was fine, like cute, entertaining, but I don't remember anything about it. And this little thing is so small. I would really just like to read it. And I can check it out from the library and watch it again, but we'll see. Has anyone else read this one? I would think of anything so far. This might be the one that people have read. All right, next up, Denim Shorts, a modern classic. And I'm going my modern classic based on Penguin. So this is Zazie and the Metro by Raymond Quinoa. My French is terrible. I've had this for other prompts before. It's a short little thing. There's also a movie in like the 60s or something. This was published in the 50s. So I'm probably going to try and track that down and watch that if I can. But just about a little girl getting lost, I think, in the metro in Paris. So yeah, that should be good. Maybe someone has read this one too, since it is a modern classic. Okay, Hometown Shorts, a book set in or from the place where you live. So I'm obviously American. That doesn't narrow anything down in the terms of short books. But I wanted something from Wisconsin, and everything that I could find except for this one was like 300 pages or more. This could have qualified for a book I've had for a long time as well, because my grandparents bought this brand new from the Milwaukee Public Library in 1962. This is Historic Wisconsin Buildings, a survey of pioneer architecture from 1835 to 1870 by Richard W.E. Perrin. So it's sort of like it sounds in the tin. It's like a loose guidebook of buildings that some exist, some don't any longer. I did randomly find a book. What's this little insert? I did find a picture of a house with my last name, and I don't think there's any historic people with my last name. What is this? Hawks and Historical Society, Inc., Delafield. Statement of annual dues. Okay, apparently my grandparents joined this at some point. And then this is about the Hawks in Property reprint from Let's See magazine, and an invitation to join the society, Hawks and Historical Society from Delafield. I'm assuming, since all this stuff is here, that they either didn't do it or they had another copy, but I love finding little ephemera like that. So, yeah, we'll read about some old buildings that may or may not exist currently around Wisconsin. So some of them are close to me, most of them are not, but that's okay. Okay, Escort. I love Escort. Okay, a book that mixes genres or doesn't fit a genre. I'm so glad that this is underneath 200 pages, because this has got poetry, it's got illustrations, it's got essays, it's got jokes. I don't know what to think of this book. So it's about the house by Jenny Slate and Ron Slate. Jenny Slate is an actress. You probably know her. My favorite role of hers, actually I have two. One is Tammy from Bob's Burgers, and the other is Mona Lisa Saperstein from Parks and Recreation. Money, please. So she and her father, who is an author, who's a writer, they wrote about the house that she grew up in, and it's haunted and tons of crazy stuff happens. This is part of the, what is this? Concord Free Press. So every time you request a copy or you find a copy, you're supposed to read it and pass it on to somebody else. You're not supposed to hold on to it or keep it. And I've had this book for several years now, so it's time for me to pass that on. But just a little flip through of what it's like. Why are there no illustrations here? So there's an illustration. I mean, yeah, it's not sure, but I'll find out, right? It's certainly a mix of stuff. Okay, Boxer Shorts, a comfort read. Okay, this book, I love this book. This will be my third time reading it, I believe. I don't know how I found out about it initially, but I just adore this book. This is probably one of the most obscure books in my collection too. University of Minnesota Press. This is so cute. Through no fault of my own. A girl's diary of life on Summit Avenue in the Jazz Age. So Summit Avenue is in Minneapolis. And Christmas Day 1926, 12-year-old Clotilde Coco Irving received a blank diary as a present. Coco loved to write and to get into scrapes, and her new diary gave her the opportunity to explain her side of the messes she created. I'm in deep trouble through no fault of my own, her entries frequently begin. The daughter of a lumber baron, she grew up in a 20-room mansion on historic and fashionable Summit Avenue at the peak of the Jazz Age. Her diary carefully records her adventures, problems, and romances. Whether sneaking out to a dance hall in her mother's clothes or getting in trouble for telling an off-color joke, Coco and her escapades will captivate and delight readers of all ages. So Peg Meyer was a reporter for the paper in Minneapolis, and I think, found out about this and found her diaries, I think, in the Historical Society, and decided to republish them. So I think this takes place over 3 or 4 years. It's very small, but she's such a rascal, and she's so charming. And I loved hearing about 1920s life in the upper Midwest. So I'm looking forward to reading this again. If anyone else has read this, I will be super surprised. Please let me know, because everyone I show this to, they're like, no, I never heard of that. So yeah, really excited for that one. Okay, just 2 more to go. Gym Shorts, a book to get your pulse racing. This is a fudge, kind of, because I really want to read this book, and it's The Pirates, An Adventure with Ahab by Gideon Defoe. Maybe 10 years ago or more, there was a claymation movie like The Pirates. Hugh Grant did a voice, Salma Hayek did a voice, David Tennant played Darwin. I really like that movie a lot. It's a lot of fun, really enjoyable. And I got hooked on the Pirates series, this book series that they're based on. This is the only book that I own from the series. They're hard to find, they're out of print. But I just really wanted to read this. So there's a map on the inside. Who doesn't love a good map in the middle? And there's little illustrations. And there's, oh yes, I forgot about this. The footnotes are great. Like here, this one says, deck chairs can be quite dangerous. The Portuguese dictator Antonio de Oliveira Salazar suffered a fatal heart attack after getting himself entangled in a deck chair. I mean, like, they're just random, quirky. So I'm considering this a pulse pounder because I'm going to be alive when I'm reading it. But I really wanted to read this book, so I'm making it work for me. And the very last one is Ripped Shorts, a slasher or a murder mystery. And this one you will have also seen held up for various other readathons throughout the years, if you've been here for a length of time. If you have, thank you. And this is also on my 5-star prediction list that I just did recently. It's Whitefly by Abdalila Hamdoushi, translated by Jonathan Smolin. This is set in Tangier, about this murdered guy. A body, 4th corpse in 3 days, washes up in Tangier with a bullet in the chest. Detective Lafrite knows this isn't just another illegal immigrant who didn't make it to the Spanish coast. So drug dealers, smugglers, all this stuff, they're trying to find the gun and the person who was killing all these people. So this should be good for a slasher. So if I can hold these up without dropping everything, yeah, right. Here is my Shorty September list. It's so satisfying to have a whole TBR. I can hold it in one hand. Like, it's really nice. So are you guys doing this? You totally should. Everyone's got Shorty stuff on their TBRs, right? Go watch Bert and Sean's video. I'll link to that, and I'll also link to Heather's video too, where she walks through her TBR right away. But yeah, I'm so excited for this, and I hope more people participate, because this is just fantastic. And Bert and Sean and Heather are some of my favorite people out there. So, all right, take care, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.